What's on your mind?
Okay, what's on my mind right now is stress.
You're not looking too stressed.
I'm not actually that stressed today, but I've been thinking about stress quite a lot.
So,
I'm actually not that stressed overall at the moment. I could be the least stressed I've been for some time. But
you're thinking about stress.
Well, the kind of stress that I don't have at the moment is the good stress.
You stress.
And the kind of stress that I do still have is actually the stuff you've got to watch out for. So I've been thinking...
Distress. You know, there's a
Distress?
distinction. There's eustress and distress. I'm not taking the piss here.
I thought you were taking the piss.
No. So eustress, EU, stress. Greek means good stress that helps us grow.
Yeah.
Right? Distress is bad stress.
Oh.
There you go. So stress is just not one stress. There you go. Learn something. It's only been
You're all
60
done.
seconds.
Well, the two kinds of stress that I often think about, the difference between the like really big, shocking, acute, holy shit, this is a stress event.
In over my head.
Adrenaline is rushing. I've got to respond to this as quickly as I can. This is a whole thing. And then that like low grade, simmering, chronic,
That sort of stress.
destructive,
Chronic stress is the killer,
simmery,
right?
yucky stress.
Eats away at you without you even knowing. Like
Yeah.
the boiling frog sort of stress.
Because I quite like a bit of the acute stress. I perform.
we all do.
I perform quite well.
Yeah, adrenaline, right?
And so we're in the final stages of this book, of finishing my second book. And last week was very acute stress. So it was like, we've got to slash this and we've got to do that. And we've
100
got
to 60,000, right?
100 to 60.
You do it?
Yeah, we're at 70 now and we'll be at 60
Good
by the end of the
work.
evening. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so that's been acute stress. But chronic stress is like, I've got all these things I'm not really doing and I'm kind of uncertain. And so like I'm supposed to have this workshop next week in Auckland on Thursday. And we've been like, what are we going to do? Are they going to lift the 10-person limit? Our venue's pulled out on us.
So it's kind of in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
taking up airspace,
Yeah.
headspace,
Yeah.
which is not productive by the sounds of it.
No, and so I've been thinking about how that applies more generally to just all the people I know at the moment, because everybody I know seems to be in this state of just yuck. Like, COVID's weird, everything's uncertain and ambiguous, and there's been this low-grade kind of stress and anxiety going on for like the last, what is it now, 5 or 6 months?
Yeah.
I just reckon it's starting to get us.
Yeah, I was talking to a client, he's head of HR for a big organisation, he said, everyone's so chronically tired. I also know people who aren't, though.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know if you do, but there's definitely people I'm hanging out with who are in a really good headspace.
Yeah.
Do you know people like that?
Yeah, what's the difference?
I think they are grabbing it in terms of an opportunity to change things, to make things different. I reckon the ones that I have, I'm just making this up, I don't know, but there seems to be, as I think really quickly about the ones who seem to be really good, going, cool, what do I want to create here? Let's make that happen. As opposed to the world is doing this to me and I'm exhausted. I don't think it's as binary as
No, because the
black and white of
agency
that,
thing
right?
is a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I did this leadership coaching situation with an exec team through lockdown, and they had 3 of us. So they had me doing the strategic stuff, and then they had some guy doing, I don't know, look into your belly button and find your aura colour or something. And then they had another guy doing resilience stuff. So Lance Burdett, ex-cop, resilience dude. And we were talking at the very beginning of lockdown about how usually in a disaster, there's this gap between when the disaster presents and the mental health stuff pops up. So like after the Christchurch earthquakes or the White Island volcano thing, it's like this terrible thing happens. But then the mental health stats are really, really good for 3 to 6 months, and then it all turns to shit, because in the middle, you're coping, right? And so with Christchurch, everyone's out there shoveling liquefaction, shoveling liquefaction and helping people out. And White Island, you're like down at the docks with some blankets and stuff. But with COVID, the number one thing we could do to be useful was nothing.
Yeah.
It was like stay home and don't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And so because you lose all this agency and you feel as though the world's doing it to you, that's why all of the bleh sets in. And so it sounds like the people that are doing well that you know have managed to tap into that agency bit. Like, here's what I can do.
Absolutely. Here's what I can do. Here's what I can create. And it might be really small, but they've got a sense of control amidst a world that feels out of control.
Yeah.
Right.
So when everything's a bit hard, focus on the bit that you can actually do something about, right? Because you can't do anything about anything else anyway.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You're doing all this worrying
exactly.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't control what anybody else is doing.
Absolutely.
You can't control if your boss is going to fire you or if there's going to be another wave.
And I think it's more, there's that Viktor Frankl quote, which is all about, choose your attitude, which I totally agree with. But I think it's more than just choosing your attitude. It's like, actually do something.
Yeah.
When you feel crappy.
Oh my God, yes, just do something.
Oh, I'll be positive. No, go and get active. Go for a run. Go and write an email. Actually, there's a Matt Church, I remember he said, if you want to be inspired, be inspiring. Go and do something that's inspiring, as in go and do something that lifts you, and then you get inspired.
Or just do something, full stop.
Yeah, do something.
My daughter's having a tough time at the moment, my teenager, and like most people, but especially like teenagers, what she wants to do is just like lie down about it, just lie on the bed, on the phone or whatever. And I'm like, you have to come out. I know it's the last thing you want to do, but you have to get in this car and come on this trip because you're not going to feel any better unless you do something.
That's right. Yeah. So, and sometimes I think as leaders, we need to nudge people into that spot, right? Okay, come on, we're going to go for a walk, whatever it might be.
And what's the smallest possible thing that you can do when everything seems hard?
There's a good question. So are you experiencing this chronic stress? So like we all have this acute stuff, this COVID stuff, but what about that underlying chronic stress? You experiencing that? And what are you doing to get yourself into some agency? What's the smallest stuff you can do? We'd love to know.
It's a good chat.
Get on the chat. That's doing something.
Like and subscribe. Share this video is something you could do.
Listen to us on Spotify.
That derailed. Kim's going to cut that out.